Hey folks, I'm going to take some time today to talk about the state of safety in South Africa and explain to you how things work here on a day-to-day basis. One of the first things to understand is that South Africa has one of the largest private security industries in the entire world. This is the case for a number of reasons, but chiefly because our police force is so overwhelmed by the level of violent crime in South Africa that without private help they would have no hope of stemming the tide or keeping criminals at bay. One of the causes of this is, quite frankly, that police officers here receive a very poor standard of training from the state. They are not proficient in the use of firearms. In fact, I know from personal experience, having worked as a journalist as well as in emergency services, that the average police officer is lucky if they get a few days at the shooting range per year. So it's not as if these are highly trained marksmen who know well how to operate firearms under pressure. In fact, with the level of crime that exists in South Africa and on our streets, in my view, it is quite ridiculous what rookie cops are expected to deal with given the amount of training they are provided with before they are sent out on duty. As I said, I have worked as a journalist and in emergency services, so unlike many ordinary South Africans, I have direct experience liaising with police directly, and one of the worst stories I ever heard was a high-ranking police officer telling me that depending who was on shift on any given day, if he ran into trouble, say an armed robbery or a hijacking or any violent crime of that nature, he might not call for backup because he would be afraid of being shot in the back by his own staff. So, as you can see based on this, even the prospect of being an honest police officer in South Africa is to take your life into your own hands. Most South Africans, as I say, have their homes guarded by armed private security, and that is not a luxury. In the South African context, it really has become a necessity, because if your home is not guarded and your neighbor's is, who do you think that robbers are more likely to target? I'm making this video chiefly to explain that when somebody talks about South Africa being a dangerous place to live, that is not some paranoid fantasy, it is not racist rhetoric, and it is not the imagination of some rabid doomsday prepper. That is simply the truth, and if you want to understand South Africa and how things work here, that's what you need to know. For now, farewell.